All right, Benny, first up on the Bias Plus reports NFL Week 12 of the 2023-24 season. The Packers are at the Lions. The Bias Plus score of 4.7 favors the Lions. That's my grandson in the background if you hear him. So
Oh, I really didn't hear him, but that's okay. He can root along with everybody else.
trying to get
Packers at Lions. Of course, Thursday, tomorrow is Thanksgiving. The Lions play at home every Thanksgiving. It's a tradition. And by the way, before we get started, there are no teams on the bye this week. So we're talking about every single team in the NFL right now. First game tomorrow, Thanksgiving, is Packers at Lions. I believe it starts at 12 noon, I believe.
yes, it does. 12:30 p.m. And I do want to
Yes,
mention
it does.
actually this is a John Madden focused week.
Yeah, they're going to do some kind of special. They're going to focus on John Madden. There'll be a lot of John Madden video. They'll be talking about John Madden for a bit.
All right.
Yes, that is true.
Awesome.
Okay, so now Packers at Lions. Both teams won on late fourth quarter comebacks. Actually, late fourth quarter come from behind touchdowns to win their games last week. The Packers lost running back Aaron Jones to a knee injury in the second quarter. That's a big hurt piece for a lot of people, especially for the Packers, but also for a bunch of people in fantasy who've been riding Aaron Jones as one of their starting running backs in fantasy. He is now out. I don't know how bad it is. I don't think it's season ending, but we will have to wait and see. That happened in the second quarter of the game against the visiting Chargers, and they were unable to get much of anything going on the ground after that. The biggest run of the day was actually a reverse by wide receiver Jaden Reed, a rookie wide receiver Jaden Reed. He went 32 yards for a touchdown on a reverse. That was the longest run of the day. The Pack has had issues closing out games, and they were down 20-16 to the Chargers. But Jordan Love, who the jury is still out on as far as being a competent NFL quarterback, made it happen with a 24-yard touchdown pass to Romeo Doubs with 2:33 left, and then the defense held on for the win. So that was a big win for the Packers, come from behind touchdown win. Now, in a game that I saw playing out completely differently from the way that it actually did, the visiting Chicago Bears caught the Lions sleeping. They scored on an early TD, and they intercepted Jared Goff twice before Jahmyr Gibbs found the end zone on a 2-yard run in the second quarter. They fell behind again when the Bears kicked a field goal, but Goff hit Amon-Ra St. Brown with a touchdown pass to take a 4-point lead into halftime. After that, things got really crazy when Justin Fields, who just got back from an injury, started having his way with the Detroit defense, and the Lions, started having his way with the Detroit defense, and the Lions turning the ball over twice. Fumble and a third interception by Goff. So he threw 2 in the first half, threw another one in the second half, and he had a fumble. Now they're down 26-14. 4:14 left in the fourth quarter. The Lions finally pulled themselves together, scored 2 touchdowns. Goff threw a pass to Jameson Williams and a run by David Montgomery, put up 2 more touchdowns along with a 2-point conversion from Goff to tight end Sam Laporta, another rookie, real good tight end. And they also got a safety on a sack fumble by Aiden Hutchinson, their top pass rusher, and that pulled out the victory 31-26. All that to say that the Lions will win their Thanksgiving game at home against the Packers. Packers had a great game last week, did something that they haven't been able to do, but I think it was a bit miraculous for them last week. They won't pull that miracle again this week, so I'm going with the Lions.
Going with the Lions, going with the bias. Beautiful. Excellent. Excellente. Okay, Benny, another division matchup. Commanders at Cowboys. Bias plus score 24.2. 24.2. favors those Cowboys. And it was funny on one of the NFL show Total Access. They were talking about the quarterback for the Commanders and actually giving him some kudos. Apparently, this guy's got some stats going for him, man.
Who? Sam Howell?
Yeah,
Yeah, he does.
really.
Yeah, he does. If he again, it's amazing. This seems to be the year for talking heads jinxing players and jinxing teams. As soon as they start to rave about you, something goes wrong. And sure enough, that's what happened because they've been talking about Sam Howell like he's the greatest thing since sliced bread, how the Commanders should really not even worry about looking for a quarterback, that he's it. And then this game happened. The Commanders lost to my last place in the division Giants, my team, by a score of, get this, 31-19. Sam Howell threw a touchdown pass to Jahan Dotson and ran one in, taking several hits at the goal line. Did you see that play?
Yeah.
Yeah. The last hit was unnecessary because he actually was already in. But the ref put his hands up and then he took him back down and then he put him back up again. It was kind of crazy.
Around. He kept going.
That's about all.
He didn't know he had scored.
Well, yeah, because he didn't know he was in. The ref was out, by the sideline, by the pylon. So he never saw the ref put his hands up. He didn't know he was in, so he figured I better try again.
Yeah,
and he got hit again. But on the second try, he actually broke the plane, but he didn't know. So he took an unnecessary shot.
I think he broke it on the first try. Because when he
I don't know about
that. They let him in. I think when that first try he scored. But in any event,
it was the first or the second one. The third one he didn't need to take.
He wasn't quitting on that touchdown. That's the point.
Not at all. Not at all. He was not quitting at all. Now, all that being said, that's about all I can say in a positive light for Washington as far as this game is concerned. They turned the ball over 6 times, 3 lost fumbles, 3 interceptions. Coach Ron Rivera's hot seat is getting hotter and hotter each day that goes by. Let's not forget they have a new ownership group there who is not tied to Ron Rivera. And Magic Johnson is part of that ownership group, and he's been talking about the team quite a bit in the media. I have a feeling that the new ownership isn't going to make a move until after the season, but I believe when that time comes, Ron Rivera is going to be out of there.
I actually saw an article, Benny, that kind of said about this game that they thought Ron Rivera was coaching for a job on this particular game, which would not be fair because there's the Cowboys and,
What, this one coming up?
Yeah. The Cowboys game, this article was saying like he's coaching for a job. But I've seen that happen before where it's like the odds of
that's not good
winning, and then the coach is like on the hot seat, and it's like, yeah, your job is toast, buddy.
Yeah, that's not good. You're pretty much done, buddy. Start packing your bags.
You know what I'm saying?
So yeah, they got to go to Dallas and into a Texas stadium. Now, Dallas versus Carolina was a mismatch from the start. That's the game last week. Dak threw 2 touchdown passes to CeeDee Lamb. One to CeeDee Lamb, 1 to tight end, another rookie tight end, Luke Schoonmaker. I believe his name is Schoonmaker. I believe he went to Notre Dame. But anyway, Tony Pollard rushed for 61 yards and a touchdown on 12 carries. And cornerback DaRon Bland had a pick 6 to account for all the scoring, along with rookie kicker Brandon Aubrey, who's having a great season. He kicked 2 field goals. The defense was stifling, 11 quarterback hits, 7 sacks, 6 tackles for loss. Carolina never had a chance. They never had a chance. Now, let me just say something about cornerback DaRon Bland. DaRon Bland, I believe, has like 4 pick 6s already. He's doing the same thing that Diggs, the corner on the other side, did last year. He's making himself a terror for picking off the ball and taking it to the house. So Cowboys defense, just as tough as they were expected to be, and still looking good. I don't think the Commanders will stand much of a chance in this game. I'm going to take the Cowboys.
Gonna take the Cowboys. I wasn't doubting that one bit there, Benny. All right, what we got? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Now,
Might be some doubts in this one.
at Seahawks, bias plus 15.2 favors. Look, I got the Cowboys. You believe this?
What?
I don't know. Somehow I screwed up the president.
Okay.
But we know it's the Niners.
Bias goes to the Niners, right?
Yeah.
All right, great. So the Niners hosted the Buccaneers and couldn't have looked much better offensively. Brock Purdy was 21 of 25. Oh my God. 333 yards, 3 touchdowns, one to Christian McCaffrey, one to Brandon Ayuk, one to George Kittle. Every playmaker caught a touchdown pass. And a second week of no turnovers. Offensively, the Niners are clicking on all cylinders. They matched Purdy's 25 pass attempts with 30 rushing attempts. Very balanced offense. They gained 115 yards on the ground, and the defense collected 4 sacks, 8 quarterback hits. Also, I have a special shout out to the secondary, who had a tremendous 11 passes defense. And remember, what the definition of pass defense means: they're right on the guy and he can't catch the ball, or they bat it away, or you know what I mean? He catches it and they rip it out of his arms. That's passes defense. So they had 11 of those. It's tough to throw against a secondary that's covering their players that tightly. Seahawks are going to be at home in this one. Niners have to go up there. They took a costly L to the Rams, another division opponent, who battled back to beat them 17-16 last week. Running back Kenny Walker III suffered an oblique injury in the first quarter and did not return. So they had to go to the rookie backup. I forget his first, Zach Charbonnet, that's his name. Zach Charbonnet, I believe is how it's pronounced. Now, Seattle actually was up 16-7 late in the third quarter with Aaron Donald, when Aaron Donald basically, I had another word up here, but I'm going to say splattered Geno Smith. He smacked him so hard. Oh my God, it's a wonder he got up.
Really?
Jacked up his elbow. He sustained an injury to his right triceps just above his elbow, and he had to be replaced by Drew Lock. And even though he came back later in the game, the Rams kept them out of the end zone the entire second half. So Seahawks couldn't put up any points in the second half, whether it was Geno or Drew Lock. They still had a chance to pull out the victory, but kicker Jason Myers missed a 55-yard field goal with seconds left in the game. With Geno banged up and Walker banged up enough where it looks like he may not be able to play, there's no way I can give the Seahawks a chance in this game. I think the Niners go in there and take care of business. Going with the 49ers.
He was ruled out already, Benny.
He's already been ruled out. Yeah,
that's what I heard.
That's tough. That's tough in fantasy too, because Walker's a guy people have been riding.
He's a hell of a running back, man. I mean, he's a little beast as far as I'm concerned. So, you know,
yeah,
not having him is.
And Charbonnet. Well, they've been talking up Charbonnet. They were talking up Charbonnet early in the season. I remember that in preseason and early in the season saying they believe that they'll end up splitting time because Charbonnet was so good and he was so quick. But that quickly changed. If you've been watching the Seahawks, Charbonnet barely plays because Walker's so good and he's been so sturdy. But now he's down, so Charbonnet's going to get his chance. We'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, I thought I heard some positive out of that game last week.
Yep.
Associated with his name, so I'm not writing him off at all. We're going to see. And again, it's the running back is about the line. You know what I mean? They're opening up the
Right.
hole, giving them the place. These guys will take advantage of it. I don't know how fast he is, but it's going to be interesting. We have Chase Young, so we have a slightly different defensive line that the Seahawks are going to have to contend with. So it'll be very interesting to see with that game. Looking forward to it, Benny.
Speed is supposed to be one of his assets.
That's what I was wondering. I was wondering about. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, it is. Speed and catching the ball out of the backfield was supposed to be one of his assets, which is why they said he may split time or be like a third down back or whatever. But Walker's been playing so well that the kid can't even get off the bench.
All right. So that's the Niners, Seahawks. The Niners are favored in this particular matchup, and that would be the 8:20 game. So after everybody's stuffed with turkey,
You're fighting off the itis.
he's fighting. What's the chemical in the turkey that makes you sleepy?
Tryptophan.
Tryptophan. Right. We're all having tryptophan dreams. Like
I'll be wobbling, trying to watch the game. Like,
oh. I'll probably be the only guy fan. I'm like, oh, wide awake in it. I'm hoping.
We'll be falling asleep. Oh, what happened?
No, let me tell you, since I got NFL Plus, man, I'll go to sleep on the game in a minute because I know I can get up and finish watching it. You'll watch the end of it,
right?
But yeah, especially the later games like the 8:20 game. And here I'm begging for the next game that you're going to talk about, rather than being 3, to be a little later. But you notice I said like 7. I didn't say like 8, 9. You know what I mean? Because 7.
You didn't say like 8 or 9. Yeah.
You'll
be glad it's on early. You ain't got nothing else to do. That's perfect time to watch a game.
No, that's not true. That's not true. You got to remember, I got a house. I got a house under renovation. I got contractors going in and out.
That's right.
Man,
you got stuff going on.
Emptying it out. It's yeah, nah.
All right.
Aside wraps up the Thanksgiving slate of games, but for each one of these games, they have a special halftime entertainment. I think like Dolly Parton is singing at one of them, and
what?
Yeah. Each one of them they got special halftime things going.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. They're doing.
That's to help keep you awake.
Well, yeah. Trying to see if I could pull that up. NFL halftime show Thanksgiving. Dolly Parton to rock out the NFL. Creed. Let me see here. Let's see. Who's the Lions? Here's the Lions. Jack Harlow, country music duo, the War and Treaty, will perform the national anthem. So Jack Harlow, I guess he's a country guy? Huh?
I don't know. Is he a country guy?
He's a rapper?
I heard the name.
I got an audience here too, Benny.
He's like the new. I'm hearing he's the new age Justin Timberlake.
The new age Justin Timberlake. He's not a rapper, is he? He's a singer, right?
No, R&B.
Well, R&B. Okay. All right. Well, see, that's what we're learning here. Hailed hit maker of tomorrow by Variety, multiple Grammy-nominated rapper, actor, entrepreneur, philanthropist, Jack Harlow. You say so.
Damn.
I don't know. And any that's big music halftime shows for tomorrow's games. Well, that wraps up Thursday, Benny. Let's talk a little bit about Friday's game. Get to see Niners East, as I like to say. And but you don't like me to say it.
But no, that's cool. That's fine. I understand the connections.
Niners East.
I understand the connections.
And again, another division. At
At
Jets.
least Niners offense is east.
Say that again.
So I said Niners offense east.
At least, yeah, yeah, yeah. The defense ain't
At least
exactly
that.
that ain't Niner standard yet.
Nah.
Um,
No, but I believe
I'm sorry.
they're on the way to improving though. I
Really?
would keep an eye on, yes.
All right. Benny's
If
gonna start tracking the Dolphins defense.
if I was a fantasy player, I might want to, if I got a spot, pick up the Dolphins defense for the stretch run of fantasy. I'm just saying. I'm not saying go out and get them. I'm saying you might want to look into it, especially if you've been running with a subpar defense and possibly losing games because they're not getting a lot of points for you. The Dolphins defense is an up and comer, and they got a nice schedule coming up.
Well, we'll
But
keep
that's just
because they
yeah.
they're
You keep an eye on
coming in for the
where are
season.
they now?
I'm sorry.
What you're breaking up? I can't. What are you saying?
I said they were ranked 25th so far for the season.
In points against.
Yes, and points against, absolutely.
Right.
And I'm
Okay.
trying to see here. Oh, okay. Over the last 3 weeks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're only giving up 17 points a game. So they've been giving up 23, almost 24 points a game. They're down to 17. That's almost a full touchdown and an extra point over the last 3 weeks.
Right. And then when you're talking fantasy, you're not only talking points against, which you are talking about, you're also talking about yardage, and you're talking about sacks, turnovers, and fumble. Yeah, all turnovers, sacks, and fumble recoveries. So again, you take a look at their defense.
Well,
Some of the things they've been doing.
Ramsey came back, right?
That is correct.
There you go.
But you know what? Let's just talk about the Dolphins then, right now, since we're talking about the Dolphins. So 9 times out of 10, a 3 turnover game would be the kiss of death for most teams. But when both teams commit 3 turnovers, I mean, basically somebody's got to win. So the Dolphins had 1 interception. Excuse me?
Net zero. When both teams have 3, there's net zero.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, the Dolphins had 1 interception and 2 lost fumbles.
Okay.
But somehow that trumped the Raiders' 3 interceptions. Miami won the game 20-13. On top of the 3 interceptions, which I'm sorry, on top of the 3 turnovers, was 1 interception, 2 lost fumbles. They also racked up 422 total offense yards, but only 20 points. That's actually the lowest point total they've had in a home game this year. So I don't know what's up with that, but they were definitely moving the ball. They were definitely putting in good production. 2 or 3 for 325 of that 422 total on a real nice 28-39. He had 2 touchdowns. He did throw the 1 interception. They ran the ball 28 times. 22 of those 28 times was Raheem Mostert, a guy that's close to your heart, I'm sure. He had 86 yards. Tyreek Hill, Cheetah, had a nice day. 10 catches, 446 yards, and a touchdown. And just to remind people in fantasy, if you play in a PPR league, or what we call a point per reception league, 146 yards will probably come out to, oh man, 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 14, 14 for the yardage, 10 for the 10 catches. That's 24, and 6 for the touchdown. That's a 30-point fantasy day. That's crazy.
All right. All right.
Sometimes you hope your whole receiving core gets 30 points. So that's a great day by Tyreek Hill. Let's talk about the defense. Defense secondary looked very frisky. They defensed 8 passes. They picked off 3 passes. 2 of those pickoffs were by cornerback Jalen Ramsey, just back from injury. So, yes, that's what we're talking about. So, again, like I said, they looked real frisky. They were out there hitting. They were out there batting down passes, had receivers covered tight, and picking off balls. So the Dolphins defense is somebody you might want to look at. Now, the Jets, this is crazy. They went to Buffalo. They basically got their butts handed to them, 32-6. Zach Wilson threw a short TD pass to Breece Hall early in the game. The 2-point conversion failed, and nothing else about this offense is really worth talking about. Wilson threw an interception. He eventually got benched. Wide receivers Garrett Wilson and Xavier Gibson both lost fumbles. The Jets are a mess. If not officially, I'm saying it right now. They are officially a mess. And I have something to say about that Jets offense later on, too, if we have time. So this one's a no-brainer. The Dolphins are going to go up to New York. And I don't care. People talk about, well, maybe if the weather's – forget the weather, man. These guys cannot compete. Take the Dolphins.
You know, the interesting thing about the Dolphins offense, Benny, and you talked about how the 20 points was a low for them. They're averaging over
At
this.
home.
All right. They're a 30.5-point team on average over the season. Last 3 weeks, though, averaging 21.7 points a game over the last 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure what's going on with that, man. That's almost 9 points down.
I'll tell you, the play calling lately has looked, I'm not exactly sure how to describe it. So I'm going to say it looks like the games they're in, they feel like they know they can win and they're like trying stuff. You know what I mean?
Buying stuff.
I know that doesn't sound very
Well, their whole offense is trying stuff. They're doing stuff nobody else hardly has ever done with all the speed.
Well, no, but a lot of that stuff they're doing because they can.
Because they can, yeah.
Okay. In other words, they're not going for the throat so much. It looks like they're trying to prepare for if they have to grind a game out.
You know, it's
and they're doing it.
Go ahead.
They're doing it because they know that the opponent can't really do much about it.
Yeah. I mean, that one play where he dropped that ball into Tyreek was surrounded by defense, and he basically ran right out of a pack of people. It was like zoom.
Right. But to his accuracy is uncanny sometimes. Not to say he doesn't throw bad balls, because he does sometimes. But most of the time when he throws an interception, it's a mess up in the route or something. You know what I mean? He's not very erratic with the football. He can pretty much put it where he wants to put it. And he knows that, you know. So
well, that's
hence the high scores.
That's interesting. All right. So you're going with the bias, going with the Dolphins.